Hey guys, LevelCap here, and today I've got NVIDIA's latest addition to their GPU powerhouse lineup, the 3080 Ti. I'll be showcasing its performance in Metro Exodus Enhanced Edition because it takes advantage of so much of NVIDIA's signature technology like DLSS and ray tracing. Also, I'd like to give a huge thank you to NVIDIA for sending me this card so I could do a review. And as a side note, in a recent news video, I referred to the Ti cards as the Ti cards, as I learned that's actually how NVIDIA pronounces their names, but it seems to not be the preferred way to say the name, so I'll revert to calling it the Ti from now on, just in case you guys were wondering. Now, first things first, with putting this video out in June of 2021, we are obviously still in the midst of a global hardware shortage while also having increased demand. Everything is 10 times harder to get than it was before, and secondary markets are taking advantage of the situations and marking up prices to ridiculous levels. Currently, hardware manufacturers, especially NVIDIA, are doing a lot to try and combat the scalping market and the crypto mining market, and hopefully things become more available down the road. One thing that NVIDIA is doing, and has in fact done with the 3080 Ti, is the implementation of crypto mining limiters built into the firmware of the card that will throttle its performance when used specifically for crypto mining Ethereum. Hopefully this helps the card get into the hands of gamers instead of miners, so kudos to NVIDIA for taking extra steps to support their gaming community. Alright, so opening up this box, the 3080 Ti is a sleek, clean looking card, very similar to the 3080 visually. We get three 1.4A display ports and one HDMI 2.1 port. On the side, there's a clean looking power connector that comes with NVIDIA's dongle attachment, so it can connect to two 8-pin power connectors off your power supply. To run this card, it's recommended that you have at least a 750 watt power supply, as the card can draw 350 watts under full load. And there's no question about it, the 3080 Ti is an extreme card meant for enthusiasts who want a gaming experience unparalleled. Are you interested in gaming smoothly at 4K or maxing out your graphics in your favorite games while also getting 100 plus FPS? Well, that's what this card is designed to do. Plugging this into my PC and playing games or rendering video, it's clear that it's designed to be an absolute monster. Performance-wise, it beats out everything AMD has available, and it's only bested by NVIDIA's own 3090 monster GPU. Now, admittedly, I've been very spoiled recently in the GPU market, as I was lucky enough to already own a 3080, so I wasn't witnessing the same kind of performance boost when upgrading to this card as compared to when I upgraded from the 2000 series GPUs to 3080. But that being said, for the most part, I don't game at 4K, as I prefer the boosted FPS of playing at 1440p, which I think is the sweet spot for multiplayer gaming. So at that resolution, it's closer to about a 7% boost from the 3080. And clearly, as has pretty much always been the case, at this level of hardware, you're going to start seeing diminishing returns as you go up in price. But to some, and probably more than you might think, that 11% boost is well worth it. It's the difference between 54 frames per second and 60 frames per second, or 108 FPS and 120 FPS. Really, the value of these performance boosts is up to the individual, so I'm not here to tell you what your dollar is worth to you, but I can certainly tell you that Metro Exodus Enhanced Edition on Ultra settings looks insane at 1440p resolution. And if FPS is your most important consideration, it might be worth it to you, but especially for YouTube, where, well, you're not going to see anything more than 60 FPS anyway, I thought, why not max out everything aside from motion blur, just because, well, I don't really like motion blur. The quality is on extreme, ray tracing is set to ultra, DLSS is set to quality, Hairworks and advanced physics are on, and I've even bumped up the field of view for a more pleasant viewing experience. Something to consider is that bumping up your FOV dramatically increases the amount of environment that's rendered, so if you like a wide FOV, as I do, well, then you're going to need a beefy card to maintain a good FPS. Now, when it comes to price, well, there's a lot to consider, and frankly, it's complicated. The 3080 Ti is $1,200 at retail price compared to the 3080's $700 or even the 3070's $500. And if the world was not in a hardware-starved, crypto mining extreme demand state, one might say that the 3080 Ti is overpriced when compared to the 3080. However, this price difference actually isn't that unusual for extreme cards, because hardware manufacturers know that they're leaving the economy market with these cards and looking for people willing to drop a lot of money for the ultimate experience. And personally, I would be in that demographic of consumers looking to spend thousands for the best possible gaming experience. So in non-pandemic conditions, I'm pretty likely to pay the retail price for a card like this. That being said, if you are lucky enough to just get a card at retail prices these days, you might not have the option of choosing which model you can get. And if you are buying the card at eBay prices, well then, the standard 3080 has been well above $2,000 on average, and I'm starting to see the 3080 Ti listed for around $2,700. So in this crazy marked up market, the price difference between the 3080 and the 3080 Ti is less extreme than the retail prices. But again, the pandemic economic situations really do complicate price critiques right now, so I'm just not going to get into it much more than that. At the end of the day, if you're able to get either a 3080 or a 3080 Ti, both cards are absolute monsters. The 3080 Ti is the king though, and it's unlikely to be dethroned anytime soon. If you get one, well, then you're going to be future-proof when it comes to gaming for quite some time. I'm extremely happy with this card so far, and frankly, the entire 3000 series GPUs are just knocking it out of the park, especially when it comes to Nvidia's performance-smashing DLSS tech and their ray tracing eye candy. I've only had this card for about a day, and I'm really looking forward to testing it out with more games. I hope you enjoyed this review/overview, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Level Cap signing off.